Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to another stream. Welcome back to another episode of SimRail. Today, as you probably noticed, I don't have my avatar turned on, and I decided to not go with it for today's video or for SimRail videos in general, because obviously it has a huge impact on performance of my PC, and I looked at previous streams and it just makes no sense to keep it on. So during SimRail streams, you won't see me on the screen. Woohoo! for the ones who didn't enjoy the presence of my avatar, yay! For the ones who liked it, well, it's not needed there. It's not needed. You can hear my voice, so I guess that will be fine for now. Maybe one day I will be using a camera or something, and then we will be seeing me in person. Who knows? Who knows? That may happen. Nothing's set in stone just yet, but at this moment you will just have to settle with my voice. Right, chat. It's been over 2 weeks now since I streamed SimRail. So obviously the game is getting pretty much weekly updates of some content and something new, and this time is no different. So since last time I played, developers added a brand new locomotive, which was a bit unexpected. Although EP08, let's be honest, chat, it's basically EP07 after slight modifications. So pretty much all the work for developers was to change the parameters of EP07 that's currently in the game, because they don't really have to make mechanical changes that makes a difference between them two models, and obviously create that characteristic terrible looking, but that's how it looked in reality, painting or livery, which is pretty much just they slapped some orange paint on it, and like it has that really awful orange color, which I personally don't like EP08. I'll be honest with you, just because of that awful color. And I'm not the only one, because you probably noticed the title of today's video, which is called The Pig, and basically that is the nickname that this locomotive got, and it got it because of that awful orange paint. So I'm not the only one who has this feeling towards EP08. It just looks awful. Obviously the orange paint was meant to indicate that this is a high-speed locomotive, as far as the high speed goes in Poland, because obviously this thing can go only 140 kilometers per hour, and that's it. If you think that high speed means like 180, 200, 250, no, forget about it. In Polish dictionary, high speed will start at 130. So yeah, that's the speed. So it's not particularly fast. It's still quicker than EP07, so that's a good thing. Instead of going 125, we can just increase that speed limit by 15 kilometers per hour. So we will have a look at that today, and that is the locomotive I will be driving throughout today's video. Perhaps I will also try to visit new signal boxes. What do we have? I believe they added Sosnowiec Południe, which is a signal box that I haven't really operated yet in SimRail, so we may have a look at that. Obviously, if I can secure a spot on one of the servers, which might not be as easy as it said. And I also added Idzikowice. On top of that, there were some changes to timetables, and now we got some trains moving in places where there used to not be specific types of trains. So again, if there's gonna be some time, if we won't get too bored with driving and messing around, we might actually jump into other services as well. So I'm not looking towards very long services today. Perhaps something shorter would suit this stream a little bit better. Right, Zephyr, hello, happy Friday to you too. Yes, my evening is going pretty well. As you can see, I finally started my stream for this week, and hopefully it will go well. And I hope you have a good time. I've seen that you've been streaming in the past, or like yesterday, I think. No, I need to check my notifications, to be honest. I'm getting tons of it from everyone. But I think I've seen your tweet about some stream that you are doing. Not sure if it already happened or not. But you've been planning to do something regarding photography, isn't it? So I look forward to see that. Anyway, chat, enough of me talking. Let's hop into the game and let's have a look at EP08. Hopefully I can find a server and nice service that will get us through a solid hour, probably. Yeah, an hour, maybe two. That would be really, really good. Right, I believe that's the button. There we go. Fantastic. Ebos, hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll have a great time today. Right, chat, let's have a look. Let's join English server, because why not? Oh, I see they they made a rule to not close the tracks on EN1. Yeah, perhaps EN1 and like Deutsch 1. Yeah, like I've seen that on all servers, so it applies to EN1, PL1, DA1. I think they've done that because players were just doing silly things, closing tracks that they shouldn't, and that caused massive delays. And obviously, not everyone likes it. But other than that, we got some people on all servers. Obviously, German community is very, very active in this game. You can see that all signal boxes are taken. 33 players driving. That's a lot. Definitely English server just got kind of empty. But I'm not fan of playing on EN1 anyway. Perhaps my favorite is EN9 because it has no limitations. You can just do whatever you need to do. And like, there's not too many players, so I guess that would be the best server for me, and that's where I'm gonna join today. Right, so if anyone wants to join, I am playing on EN9, which should see some good services. So EP08 can be driven if you are driving EC train. And obviously I need to pick, okay, this one has 13 minutes, so I will pick this one with about 2 hours on the clock. So we will be driving towards Warsaw. The train should start... where should I be? 2 hours from the schedule. I will be somewhere. Włoszczowa Północ. Oh, okay, so I am far after Włoszczowa. The first problem I see with this locomotive, just before I take over, it has mirrors, which doesn't work, so that needs to be addressed. These mirrors should actually work, and that's pretty much one of the differences between the models of EP08 and EP07. Apparently EP07 doesn't have rear view mirrors. If you've played this a little bit, you probably noticed that. While EP08 surprisingly got its mirrors, and both of them should have mirrors anyway. But hey, That's the game. Hopefully that will be addressed. Another issue that we will quickly discover, and it will be very quick discovery, is when I take over. Oh, okay. That's not an issue anymore. Earlier on, when I used to be taking over when the train was stationary at the station, the brakes were applied at a full service for some reason, which they shouldn't. Right, let me just wrap it. There we go. That's what I want. Instrument light, instrument light. Instrument light is on by default. Fantastic. Standard current. Pretty much every single thing in the cabin is set exactly the same. So I don't really need to change anything. We can give it full power since we are driving towards Olszamowice. Okay, it looks like they swapped controls for field shunt, which is a bit uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of disturbing to use opposite buttons to operate field shunt. There we go, chat. This is the speed. Vicebrot, hello, hello, welcome to the stream. And Fabian Freddy, hello, hello. I'm doing great. I am doing great. Finally got a chance to drive EP08. I think I am speeding a bit. Okay, yeah, I am definitely going a bit quicker than I should. I changed my shunt controls back to originals. So is that a global change, or does that apply only to EP08? Because it's a bit disturbing to have the buttons opposite. If that is a global change, then obviously I will be aiming to change that. There we go, all the buttons seems to work as they should. Okay, and on top of that, let me just turn this on, since we don't have ETCS. I believe having some information in advance, especially that I'm traveling at. It should be a global change. Oh, okay. So I will definitely look into controls and change it back as soon as I can. Obviously, not while I drive. I will just have to survive with having the buttons opposite. All in all, it's pretty much EP07. More or less. It has some small differences inside, so yeah, it wasn't really hard modeling job for a person who actually had to model this locomotive. Few changes between EP07. Probably a person who had to implement it had more work than a person who modeled that. But it's nice to have a variety of different units and an extra locomotive or rolling stock in the game is highly appreciated. So I'm not going to complain that we have them, because it's definitely a good idea. Railjet, hello, hello, welcome to the stream. Why you haven't been notified that I'm live? I don't know. Have you subscribed to the channel on my Discord? There is a channel, and you have to request a specific group, and every time I go live, a message comes up, and members of the group that requested notifications will get notifications, and I'm 100% sure that the message has been sent, and the ping was correct for the group. So you need to check your notification settings for Discord. You can also turn on notifications on Twitch. I believe there is a way to do that, and Twitch will send you an email or other form of notification that they send to people. And finally, you can switch to YouTube, subscribe to my channel there, which I'm quite sure you are already a subscriber, and you can turn all notifications there for my channel, and every time I post a new content, which also applies to my streams, YouTube will send you a notification on your phone if you have YouTube app. It will send you a notification in Google Chrome if you are using this browser. I'm not sure if it sends notification on Firefox and other browsers, but I think if you set them up correctly, it will still pop up. So yeah, I got no influence on your settings. But if you check my channel around 5 PM every Friday, which seems to be a day when I'm usually streaming, you have a high chance to find me. You won't find me next week though, because I might not make it to arrange a stream for 5 PM. And that's because I believe I got my English exams earlier on that day, and I got maths exams a day before, so I won't be able to prepare anything for the stream. And as much as annoying that is, I need to pass them. I hope I will. Well, maths is piss easy. Like, I'm not really bothered by maths. It's very easy stuff. So it's just confirmation that I need that paper. Well, I just need a paper for it. So, like, I'm not worried about maths. English is a bit more complicated and annoying, I'd say, because obviously I get like an hour. Yeah, I think I get 60 minutes to write 2 pieces of text, and that might be like an article, it might be a report, formal or informal letter. It all depends on the task. So you don't really have much time to think about what you want to write, but you have to construct 2 pieces of text within 60 minutes. So that's pretty much the exam for most part. Just barely managed to spot that speed limit. Trimi, hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll have a great time today. You hate maths. Maths is not... well, depends on what level. on the level that I will be doing maths, it's piss easy. It's basic stuff, honestly. So there's literally nothing that I would find complicated in that. It's pretty much basics. As I said, it's only English that will be annoying, because obviously I need to write something that I don't tend to write too often. Like article, I've never written an article, honestly. Even in my practice, I'm trying to avoid that like fire. And thankfully, so far, none of my practice involved writing an article. I had to write few reports because obviously I work and I tend to write those. Other than that, yeah, the rest of the exams should be very easy. You've sent me something on Discord. You should take a look as soon as you take your next break. Okay, okay. Is that something regarding moderation of my Discord? I might actually have a look at this. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you doing? Unfortunately, I don't have moderators, so I will have to look at this myself. If it's very urgent, I might actually have a look at this. In fact, what I can do... Okay, I just gave control to the bot, and I will have... a second to have a look at this. Right, so let's see. Yes, yes. I will check it out. Okay, solved. And thanks for letting me know. Right, back to driving, chat. Back to driving. Right, let's see what bot messed up. Every single time I give control to the bot, it throws drive handle down to 0. But other than that, it seems like we should be fine. Okay, chat, so we are approaching Pilichowice, then we have a 4-minute stop at Opoczno Południe, although, wow, it's gonna be a longer stop. Chat, it will be a longer stop than that, because I'm quite sure I will reach Opoczno Południe far quicker 7:03. I should be there by 10 to 7 probably. So that's going to be a very, very, very long stop. But it is what it is. Oh, why you don't like it? I absolutely, well, I would say I absolutely love it. It's one of the best stations to get as a novice player. When it comes to how interesting it is, because obviously you can jump on Pilichowice, which is, to say the least about it, boring. You literally have only one switch to operate. There's absolutely nothing. All you do is to confirm, okay, the train is going to go from this track to this track. You rarely have to do anything, especially now since developers disallowed closing tracks on many of the servers. So yeah, it will be same as exciting as watching paint dry. Opoczno Południe though, just because you got only one platform and there are at least 2 trains per hour that requires to stop at this platform, it makes it a bit more interesting, especially when you get some delays and trains that are running slightly off the schedule. So that creates a bit interesting situation every now and then, at least. I prefer delays. I mean, you still got delays, don't get me wrong. You will still get delays. Oh, it looks like I might be stopped at Pilichowice. I mean, yes, the train will arrive early, but it's very simple. There is a way to dispatch on this station, and like I've done it before, and I don't see any issues with that, to be honest. It's been really nice station to dispatch, honestly. I've spent a couple hours in there, and from novice stations, this is probably one of the best. I haven't seen Idzikowice yet. Oh, there we go. That was VMAX, because the signal was changing just as I was approaching it. So yeah, I strongly recommend Opoczno Południe. I know it might not be the easiest station for the novice to dispatch, just because you got that one platform and there is not much you can do about it. But you can always stop a train at the entry signal, and that's one way of dealing with it. Right, chat, we are now at Pilichowice. And we are 8 minutes ahead of time. Yeah, and you have to basically stop EC. EC is stopping at your station anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem, isn't it? Because you always have to send EC train onto that siding, and then you have to let Pendolino through. And you should have enough time for these trains to actually clear the tracks. So I don't see where the problem is at the moment. Actually, Pielechowice might be a little bit more annoying in that sense, because if Opoczno is going to fail to stop one of the trains, that train is gonna just fly through, and then you will have a slow EC train in front of fast Pendolino, which is a problem. I completely forgot that after you leave Pielechowice, going towards Opoczno, the tracks are going downhill slightly. And I've been rushing a little bit too much, and now I went into speed limit violation, unfortunately. I know, but normally meet the north and southbound at the station. Yeah, so that's the idea behind setting up the schedules in that way, so that the player has that little bit of challenge at least once an hour. It's still not much, to be honest. I would still prefer stations to be a little bit more complicated, because even Zawiercie, which is the most complicated station you can get in this game, and that's why it's always taken, it's not that complicated. All the stations have their own, like, a dispatching rhythm, and when you hit it, like, it's that easy, honestly. I never really had issues dispatching on any of the signal boxes so far. There was no timetable that I wasn't able to dispatch without any problems. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, for me, Opoczno Południe is nice station for a novice player, because there's something to do in there. Anything else is just boring, which is a problem. I think shunting would increase difficulty. Yes, you're right. If players would have to, like, do some maneuvers and change directions and stuff, yes, that would indeed increase the difficulty. If you have to, like, do some switching and such. But obviously, that is coming into the game. At some point we will be able to do shunting. At some point players will be able to switch cars. At some point players might be required to do some shunting during their timetables, perhaps change direction. Perhaps services won't be just going from point A to point B. You will just sign up for one of the services and you will be able to drive all the way down, back and forth, doing 3-hour journeys and just turning around, which is also a possibility. Right, chat, I need to slow down because entry to Opoczno is at 60. There we go. Yeah, what was I? Yes, so shunting definitely will change the game and will add some difficulty to some stations. But again, perhaps more challenging timetables will also do the job. So if you get more frequent trains on some stations, it will definitely make a lot of a difference. Finally, some stations are supposed to be mechanical, so I'm looking forward to that, because those are generally a little bit harder to operate stations, because you have to understand how all these levers works and how to set the route properly on that, especially when you don't get visual indication of what you are doing. Because you effectively don't on those. You just pull the right levers, lock the signal, or rather lock the route, draw a signal, and you have to pray that everything works. Otherwise you might be a bit screwed. Okay, is that enough braking force? Okay, I can now stop. But obviously I want to stop closer to W4. Okay, that looks much better. Now I can do that, and I can do that. Perfect. Devs are working on a better timetable. Yes, I am aware of that. There will be... well, timetable is changing pretty much every week, so they keep adding and removing services, which is nice. Hopefully that will get polished properly. I've seen on their Facebook, I believe, and I think it was also mentioned on Discord, that they are now working on EN57, which is absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see that in the game. So that will be another EMU to drive, and hopefully it will be more visible on Katowice-Sędziszów route, because obviously having EN57 on high-speed route makes no sense, since that thing is limited to just 110 kilometers per hour. It just can't go faster. So Katowice-Sędziszów would be the best place to drive it, because you get speeds of like 80, 60, 70. Those are typical speed limits there. There's only short section where you can fully drive 120. So that is probably ideal place. You could see some of them near Warsaw, because obviously there are some local routes that you would be taking, and obviously plenty of them would be stopping around Katowice, especially in 2018. I believe there were still quite a few in use, because EN57 happens to be pretty much the oldest EMU used in Poland, or I think it's the oldest one used, and I think one of the oldest is like what, 30 years old? No, I think it's 60 years old now. So yeah, those are very old units, and I'm glad to see that they are coming into the game. That will definitely make a lot of difference. Hopefully they will give them separate and brand new services that will be just squeezed in between current services, which will make things a little bit more complicated, especially at where was the Katowice Zawodzie. Well, Sosnowiec Główny probably doesn't need much more complication, but Będzin definitely could use some well, more busy timetable. Dąbrowa Górnicza is generally very boring station. It's one of the most boring stations you can get. But hey, it is what it is. When they will turn on Dąbrowa Górnicza Ząbkowice, that will definitely make a lot of difference. You will have plenty of freight traffic, plenty of passenger traffic. Like, it's probably one of the busiest stations that you can get in the game, just after Zawiercie. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of changes. There's gonna be a lot of changes, and I look forward to see them. Right, chat, we got 10 minutes on this station, and we just have to wait. Okay, EP08001. You know what would be nice? I would really love that developers would make this number to change. So, okay, they made EP08, but this number should be changing between locomotives. So when two of EP08s will meet at the route, one of them will have, let's say, number 1. The other one would be number 25 or something. I know it's not fully realistic, but hey, we can always sacrifice a little bit for the sake of having that number to change. That would be really nice. So every time you would drive EP07, EP08 or any other locomotive, it should have different numbers. That would be brilliant. I'm a beginner dispatcher. So far I enjoyed dispatching in all stations ending with Południe. And there's not that many of them. There are 2. Is it? Yeah, there are 2. It's only Opoczno and it's only Sosnowiec. Yeah, there are only 2, I think. Now my... Yeah, okay, there are only 2 stations or signal boxes saying Południe. Okay. I really had to think about it twice. Right, chat, since we will be sat here for 10 minutes, perhaps it would be wise to raise the front pantograph. Let's have a look at the animation. Does it work? Does it work? It works! Perfect. If you want something bigger and more complicated, well, Katowice Zawodzie is a bit bigger, but is it that much more complicated? Not really. Będzin is surprisingly boring. Łazy, there's not that much happening there really, and you don't really get any platforms, so you just send trains from one side to another, and yeah, it tends to get really boring really quick. Dąbrowa Górnicza Wschód, yeah, this can get complicated sometimes, although for very short moments, and there's really not that much happening in there. Hopefully when they will turn on other stations in that vicinity, things will get a little bit more interesting, because there is a lot of freight traffic compared to the rest of the routes. You get much more freight traffic, and there are just 1 or 2 trains that really stop on your platform, so not much is happening there really. I hope that timetable in this region got a little bit busier, because there's plenty of those local stations that should be connected with like commuter trains, and you should get quite a lot of passenger traffic. I hope they will introduce timetables where around midday, where you get like a peak times, or like, yeah, where people are going to work, going back from work, you get more frequent services, and then it eases up around nighttime, or when you got different seasons in the game. That would be brilliant to include in the timetable, so you don't exactly have to get every single train every hour or something. You might get, let's say, more commuter trains around, I don't know, between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., where you would probably expect people to go to work, go back from work. And so obviously those would be times where services are more frequent. Same goes to mornings, like between, let's say, 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. you could get like more frequent services of certain types, at least, to like show that yes, people are going to work, so train companies are putting a little bit more frequent services there. A bit less frequent services of certain kinds are then sent on those times. So yeah, that would make things interesting, and probably it would make a lot of differences here and there. But whether that's going to be introduced or not, we'll see. I'm sure at some point we will see some nice timetables. They've already added some freight trains that are going on this line, even though there shouldn't be any trains of this type, or if there are any, those should be intermodal trains, so completely different rolling stock, much quicker, so that they can keep up the pace with fast passenger trains like Pendolino or anything pulled by EP09s right now, because like these days they probably use EP09s, which can go much faster than EP08, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I look forward to see a new rolling stock. Definitely, it's going to be very welcomed, and I look forward to see much more complicated timetables that will give more chances for players to actually have some challenge while dispatching. Because right now dispatching is fun, but it's kind of boring, because everything goes too perfect. Well, so you will probably be happy to know that yes, the game announced that there is going to be a steam locomotive in the game, but that is going for full release. So yes, there will be one steam locomotive in this game. I'm not sure about anything more, but there is one. It's called TY2. You can Google it up to see how it looked like. It's basically like a German locomotive. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's basically German locomotive, or at least it's very similar to German locomotives. Right, chat. Those mirror on EP08 actually reflect. It doesn't work for me, I'm afraid. But I heard that if I would turn it off in the settings and then turn it back on, some users report that it actually clicks in and then starts working. The problem with that is if I will change my graphic settings, the game will also change some settings that I changed in the files. Just to have that nice long rendering distance. In order to achieve that, I'm afraid I had to change the settings. Otherwise the tracks would render just like 500 meters in front of my locomotive or something, and it looks really odd when I zoom out. Then the tracks would cut somewhere here, which is ridiculous. So I don't really want to fix the mirrors just now. and I just hope that developers will fix it so that they work for the first time. It will probably come with some updates. I'm not sure when is the next update. Probably like in few days. I think the last one came in 3 days ago, so I would expect new update to show up around a week or something. Right, chat, 60 seconds and we can depart. Can I share what settings I changed? Yeah, I can do that after the stream ends. There we go. Chat. We got station announcements that actually works. That is wonderful. There we go. The signal have changed. I still need to wait for a few seconds. Okay, now I can depart. So. Okay, I can now drop the front pantograph. Beautiful. Right, so I'm where's the next stop? I think the next stop will be somewhere. I think the next stop is Warsaw. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Warsaw. And there we go. This guy was waiting. Oh my dear lord. Oh dear. I used the wrong one. There we go. That's what I wanted to use. Oh dear lord. Just look at that. Oh, that's what I call traffic jam, isn't it? There we go, let's have a look. There are only 4 players here, not too many, not too many. Oh. Super long train in the other rail. Not really, it wasn't that long. Has the same length as mine. Perfect. Because for this train you need rapid brakes. They need to work a little bit quicker. Passenger trains tend to brake more often, so I always select rapid. Quick derail. No, I'm not going to derail. Oh. Was there a speed limit sign? I didn't notice any. Although I might have missed it. I wonder if that notification shows up only when I go past the sign. It technically should wait until then. Or is it showing up much quicker? Oh, okay, so that's the sign. And the sign is only 1.5 kilometers away from the speed limit. Okay, so I started to slow down much quicker. Driving through checkpoint ahead of time. I'm already 3 minutes early. Dear Lord. Okay, yes, so that's Idzikowice. The entire station is at 120. And it doesn't really look that busy. Which is... a bit of a shame. I would love to see this station to be a bit busier than it is. Come back quick. Hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll have a great time today. It's really not easy to read from the signs at higher speeds. But normally this line is equipped with ETCS, so technically most of the rolling stock that drives on this line with a speed of 130 kilometers and higher should be equipped with ETCS, so ETCS should give you advance warning that there's going to be a speed limit. What's that thumping? So basically the way that this locomotive works, each position on the drive handle represents different settings of resistors that are turned into the system, and that's how the speed is regulated in this locomotive. And that's why when you are speeding up and when you are switching through positions, first of all you can hear those fans going off because they are supposed to cool that resistance element, and each position obviously changes a different set of relays on the back of locomotive to set different circuits on, and whenever you switch those relays it makes those switching sound. So when I go quickly through the positions and go from position 1 to 43 pretty much instantly, it has to switch through every single position. And that's why you can hear that thumping sound. Well, that's how they were constructed. In fact, the original design was constructed by British. The first version of this locomotive, which was bought in 60s by Poland, and it was marked EP0. It was EU06. Yeah, they were bought in 50s or 60s, along with the license to produce this locomotive. 20 units were bought, and then when the locomotive was licensed, obviously some changes in the design were made, and that's how EU07 was created. And then from EU07 that design was just improved over the years up until EP09, I believe. Are EU07 and EP08 equipped with ETCS in real life? No, they aren't. I'm not sure about EP08 because it's quick enough to technically be able to equip that, but whether they retrofitted that or not, I can't really tell. I'm 100% sure that you won't find EU07 with ETCS because it makes no sense. EU07s are limited to only 125 kilometers per hour. You can't go faster with this thing. For EP08s, like I'm not sure how many are still in the service, to be honest. There's definitely quite a few, but whether they actually equip them with ETCS, I don't really know. EP09s, I'm not sure how quick they can go, honestly. It's been a while since I've read anything about them, and it wasn't long series of locomotives, I think. So we will have to see. Perhaps those were equipped with ETCS. If they can go up to 160, probably. I would assume that that they would be equipped with ETCS, but I'm not sure if they are actually equipped with one. Okay, I will just let it coast so that we won't go over the speed limit again. (7:21 p.m.) I think we are expected to arrive at Warsaw around 9 p.m. So that would probably make sense. Well, the thing about Pendolino is that it is a nice unit to drive in real life. In the game, it might not be as good because of that speedometer, which is on your left screen. It is tiny, like you can barely read it. In fact, I really didn't have fun doing this. On top of that, ETCS doesn't work. So the system that is supposed to help you drive this locomotive is not active in the game, and without UI you can't really effectively drive it at this moment, which also takes out some of the fun of driving it, if you like the challenge. But other than that, it's nice locomotive, or it's nice unit to drive. Obviously I'm not fan of it, so that's why I don't really Pan Hrabia, well, if you refer to that, like a larger version that is supposed to be easier, it's still not perfect. It doesn't display your cruise control setting on that, which is a bit annoying, or the display is very tiny anyway, so it's not really helpful. In that sense, I prefer to drive Trax or Dragon. Those two are really nice to drive. But Pendolino is, again, yes, I agree that it's not my favorite unit to drive in this game. Even EN76 is better, which is probably one of the units that I hate to drive in this game. Because controls tend to be a bit tricky sometimes. Any locker that I would like to see added? It would be nice to see Vectrons at some point. I've heard that PKP Cargo recently bought some more, because they already have a few. So Vectrons would perfectly fit in this game. Some rolling stock to go with it, probably some platform cars, or that's wagons that are used for intermodal trains. That would probably fit the game really well, especially that we have high speed route, and those trains tend to have higher speed limits. Bolt would be happy, yes, but Bolt would be very happy to see Vectrons. I'm sure of it. But yeah, they would definitely fit the game. ET22, ET41, but that would have to show up mostly on Katowice-Sędziszów line, with a very long and very heavy freight trains, especially the one with coal. So rather than having tracks pulling like those freight trains from Sędziszów with like those coal hoppers, I would prefer to see ET41 in that role, and those would be slow, sluggish, but very heavy freight trains with coal, because that's what ET41 was designed for. It's pretty much two EU07s connected together permanently, or basically they have like rear cabin cut off, and they are connected back to back, so you still get two cabins, but it's a massive long unit, and it can pull up to 4,000 tons, so it's a really massive locomotive. So definitely having that in the game would be nice. ET25, which is another very strong freight locomotive for heavy freight trains, and that would also fit the game perfectly fine. On top of that, well, ET22. On top of that, ET22 has been seen pulling some passenger wagons, because this locomotive can be easily used for that as well, if it's needed. So again, we can even see passenger trains pulling one. or one pulling passenger trains or some passenger service on one of those routes. So definitely, yeah, there's quite a few locomotives that I would like to see. On top of that, diesel locomotives, ST43, SU45, SM42, those three should definitely get into the game at some point, and that would open possibilities to create routes that are not electrified, and you can still get like a relatively normal speed trains, because SU45 could reach 120 kilometers per hour, ST43 could reach 100. So definitely there's a lot of rolling stock that they could add in the future. Pan hrabia, zgoda się do pędziaka, to zanim nie przypadał, mnie akurat przeszkadza. To be honest, I haven't really driven Pendolino that much in the game to notice that drive handle is kind of like a sluggish or something. It works differently, so you have to get used to it. Obviously, it has its own way of working, but yeah, I haven't really used Pendolino that much to really notice that there are this kind of problems with it. Right, chat, 4 minutes ahead of time. By the time I'm gonna get to Warsaw, I will have another like 10-15 minutes stop probably. But it's nice to drive like that EP07 at 140. It creates that different feel, like it's just that bit faster. Which other country I would like to see in SimRail? So definitely it would be nice to have a full route for that EC train, because it's supposed to start at Warszawa-Grochów, which is just 1 or 2 stations after Warsaw West, where we finish our route, and it's supposed to go all the way to Bohumin, which is in Czech Republic, I believe. So that would be nice international route. Obviously, a route from Warsaw to Berlin, because there are trains connecting those two, and there are Eurocity trains going there. So that would introduce some German routes as well. On top of that, there is plenty of like a freight traffic between Poland and Germany. There is a lot of freight traffic between Poland and Czech Republic. So I would love to see SimRail to expand the rail network onto neighboring countries. We might at some point see some routes heading to Ukraine as well. But I think they need to switch the track gauge, so basically the route would end at Ukraine, and then behind the border you would have to start a new service effectively, because I think they are switching locomotives, or they are changing something else there, or there is a different track gauge. So that's something that I need to verify. but definitely those international routes would be really nice to see. And obviously, ideally, I would love SimRail to grow that rail network all the way across Europe. So eventually that would go from Germany to like France and all these countries. Like that would be brilliant to turn SimRail into like a somewhat ETS. That would be absolutely brilliant in the future. And to see all that rolling stock that might come up with, obviously in form of different DLCs, because like developers would have to make money out of something. But it would be cool to see that when you jump on multiplayer, you can start a service somewhere in Katowice, and it can go on a different routes. When you get through the stations that are connected to that route, there might be services, let's say, from going from Berlin to Warsaw, if they go through the routes that, or go through the station that you are passing on your different route. So like having that full network in the game would be absolutely brilliant. I would love to see that. And this game has a potential to do that. Obviously it will require a massive servers at some point. So whether it's going to work or not, that's a different story. But at this moment, like, the game works surprisingly well. Well, the problem with that high activity of devs is that they are cooking burnouts in the team, because obviously everyone is working so hard in that team that it makes me feel a bit scared that they might be pushing it too hard sometimes. I hope it's not the case, but I hope they are not doing any of that crunch thing and stuff where they just overwork themselves, because eventually that high level of like involvement in the product might turn against them, because every now and then if you work too hard on something, you are basically burning the candle on both ends, and that's not healthy. So I hope it won't really end up like that. But for now, yes, it's really impressive how quickly they are pushing out patches, updates and fix things, because if you look at the state of the game 3-4 months ago when I started to stream it, and how the game looks right now, like, you can see all those changes. Obviously EP08 is one of the results. We didn't have that in playtests, for example. There were multiple bugs where you could stop at the station, go through your full stopping time, depart, and still get penalty for leaving the station out of the schedule. I hope that this is fixed now. Hopefully they will fix that ETCS. Yes, I actually agree with that. Perhaps they could add some more locomotives that are equipped with ETCS, because right now it's only Pendolino that is actually equipped with it. I'm not sure about Drax and Dragon. I think Dragon was equipped with ETCS, although I'm not sure about it, honestly. But yeah, some more locomotives that could replace EC trains, because obviously EU07 is not really the best locomotive for that. EP07 is also not the best locomotive to drive on CMK. So we need a proper rolling stock for the route that we are using. And yeah, I look forward to that. Obviously at some point they are planning to release like a editor, which would allow community to create routes for SimRail. I'm not sure how that is going to work, but again, that will also expand the amount of content that we will get in the game, because then there will be user created content. How is that going to work though? It's a different story. Perhaps that will be only single player content. But it's still nice to see that they are at least planning to do that. Definitely it looks much better than another game that I won't be mentioning here loudly. I used to cover that game for some time, and now I stopped for obvious reasons. Right, chat, it's the least exciting part of the route, I'll be honest with you. Because there's literally nothing happening in here. You just drive, and that's all you have to do. Just VMAX it at all times. Oh, I went into speed limit violation eventually. There we go. Just a touch on the brakes. Perfect. I hate that orange color. I'm telling you, chat. I hate that orange color. I don't know why, but it's just... It just doesn't look right, in my opinion. Other than that, EP08 is really nice locomotive. Obviously, because it's based on EU07 family, and basically it's a modernized version of EU07 or EP07. It drives pretty much the same. But I don't like the color. That paint job is really awful. Oh. We are approaching a red light. How authentic is the scenery? I'll be honest with you, I never had a chance to drive on this route in real life, but from what I know, developers actually used actual geodetic data, so the route is in a scale of 1:1. And yes, it is pretty much same as long as it is in real life. So going from Katowice to Warsaw really takes that long. It's a about 4-hour journey for like trains pulled by EP0908, because those are the ones that are actually used in real life, if I'm correct. When it comes to EP07s, I'm not sure if they are still in use on that route. So it takes about 3.5-4 hours to go through this. For Pendolino, I think it also takes that rough 2.5-3 hours. Kolor, a przydomek to dopiero porażka. Well, yes, well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, yes, that terrible color is the inspiration for the nickname of this locomotive. So it is called the pig because it has this awful orange color and it just looks that bad. So yes, that's the reason why this locomotive is called the pig, because it has this awful orange color. Right, definitely developers need to work on the speed at which AI is setting the routes. I would love that Sheligi wouldn't like send me on or basically set the signal only after I pass the last automatic block signal, because that confuses the drivers to think that, oh, I need to stop at the next semaphore, while by the time you reach it, it will keep showing green light, which is incorrect. Obviously, if you have to stop someone, then you would stop him. But if you can just go through, it should be done much quicker. Right. Coming back to the scenery question. Well, I can't say about placement of every single tree and object on the route, but many objects like station buildings and such were modeled specifically for that route, so they look more or less realistic, and everything was based on real photos, so the scenery is quite realistic, I would say. The length is alright. Many things that you will find on the route is inspired on satellite footage, actual photos from the locations, so it might not be exactly the same building that is standing in specific places, but it is accurate enough to be convincing, in my opinion. Okay, so we are now 6 minutes early for a change. But I'm quite sure this is going to change. Okay, radio 2. There we go. Channel 2. A touch on the brakes just to keep the speed in check, although I probably should just let it coast and that should do the job. Okay. One other thing that I would like developers to change is UI. I would love to have a little bit more control over what's showing on the screen. So I'm not fan of this notification on the top whenever I need to press alerter, because that's why I got this light on my panel. So I don't see the reason why this should be popping up along with button prompts, which I would like to keep, but I just don't like to have this top notifications about everything. Unfortunately, they are merged together, so I can either resign from having button description, which actually helps, or I will have to tolerate those silly notifications, which technically should be like a separate UI element that you can turn on and off. Same goes to like these informations. It would be nice if there's more control over which informations are shown. So I like that very top right panel which says drive through Grodzisk Mazowiecki, approximately 6 kilometers, and you should be there at 8. It also displays like a tiny clock when you are stopped at the station to tell you, okay, you can now drive off because you finished passenger exchange. Normally you would get like a radio message from train director saying, yeah, let's say 41130 ready to depart or whatever. But unfortunately you don't get that, especially in multiplayer. In single player scenarios you get a voice message, so you can just completely turn off the UI and you should be perfectly on time if you just follow the messages on your radio. But they haven't done that for multiplayer, so either they should do like any voice message, at least fake voice message that you get in some trains, to tell you that you are ready to depart, or they could change the UI so it is a little bit more modular, because information about next signal is absolutely not needed for me. It's just confusing, in fact, as you could see previously. Oh dear lord, what am I doing? I was supposed to use this. But yeah, it is confusing because it tends to inform me about upcoming speed limits before they actually change. Although now that was different. But that one speed limit that was like 120, I got information on UI 3 kilometers ahead, or nearly 4 kilometers ahead, while at the same time the sign was only 1.5 kilometers away from the actual speed limit. But I know why they did it, and obviously it was for Pendolino drivers who usually don't use enough brakes. Oh, and I wasn't informed about that speed limit, apparently. Ooh. Oh dear lord. How I haven't derailed on that. Dear lord. I should have probably read the signals. That was my fault. That was absolutely and totally my fault. But again, surprisingly, UI didn't told me that there is a 100 km/h speed limit in front of me. Which is kind of weird. It told me, yeah, you're gonna have to slow down to 160, which I wasn't really bothered with. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, you are passing a signal that limits your speed to 100. Whoa. Oh dear lord, come back quick. 65 sec. 65 sec. Okay, so that's apparently, according to notification, £5.16. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. There we go. Muta, yes, I 100% agree with that. This was actually mentioned on the forums and in multiple places so many times that I'm kind of surprised that developers haven't changed that yet. Basically, in my opinion, entire UI needs some rework. It looks good, and I wouldn't mind that timetable looks a bit more modern and simplified. That's perfectly fine. You don't really need all information that you would normally get. It would be a bit too complicated for average player. But certain information needs to be displayed. So your timetable should tell you what is a maximum speed limit of your train and what are speed limits on different parts of the route. Definitely that information needs to be there, and obviously it isn't. Ideally, yes, an option or setting that would allow you to switch that UI timetable between this version, which is very inaccurate and more arcadey, and like a realistic timetable which would display all that information similar to Machina style or like Train Driver 2. Basically, yeah, the timetable from Machina is probably the best in that sense, which would display your full table of what you need to do and what you need to know. I would love that. I would love that, and having that as a setting would probably satisfy everyone, so developers can have this version as default. But if you dig into the settings and change it, you can set your game to always display things in a way you want it for, let's say, immersion. That would be perfect. I would love it, honestly. But whether that's gonna happen or not, I don't know. I'm not making decisions in regards to many elements of this game. It's all on developers and investors, so mostly on investors. So obviously I'm quite sure that in many places developers mentioned that things should look differently, but obviously if you make things realistically, it will please the community or part of the community who wants a proper simulator, but it might not really please investors because it might not look appealing to them. So obviously it's all about sales. They want to sell it to masses, to like younger audience who just wants to drive trains. They don't want to learn a lot of that rules and such, or they don't want to learn how to read very complicated timetable that you would normally get with you, and that might be a problem, because obviously if the game is very niche, it will have lesser sales. So you either need to put up the price higher, release more DLCs, which also reduces the quality and such, or you are trying to sell the game to larger audience, and to increase the audience you have to make it easier, so that's there's larger potential. Yeah, I mean, whether it is arcade style, like if you look at Train Sim World, it's as realistic as it can be, but it has a huge problem with many other things, especially with quality, because they need to pump up the content so quickly, because it's all on investors. So investors want developers to make a shitty content, and they make shitty content because they just can't keep up with the speed at which they need to release new content for people to buy it. It's all about greed, and it turns Train Sim World from a game with massive simulator potential, with great graphics engine, and on top of that, which would, like, all them connected together, like, would really make a great game. But it's much worse than it's supposed to be, because investors want developers to push out content so quick, and that's why you get DLC every 2 months probably for Train Sim World or something, and they are selling new route that is like 20-30 kilometers long or whatever, because they just have to pump up new content, because otherwise they would get sacked. That's why you get better games from indie developers right now, because they don't have an investor who holds all the money and who can... Oh dear lord. And I just messed up, did I? Oops. Ha ha ha. I was so focused on watching on... I was so focused. Oh dear lord, I messed up. Chat, it's probably the first time I messed up so badly. Congrats, you derailed. Yes, it's my fault. It's totally my fault. Right, let's have a look at this disaster. Oh dear lord, I actually need to take a photo of this before the train gets removed. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What time to come back? Yes, I messed up, chat. I messed up. Oh, that's the first time I messed up so badly. Oh, that is a bit disastrous. Chat, I got so focused on talking to you and watching chat that I stopped watching the signs, and that's what happens. Blocking trains. Not for long. The train will be removed very quickly. The system will automatically remove. Maybe slow down before looking at chat, but then I would have to keep up with the timetable. Oh, there we go. And that removed 2 trains. Derailed. Oh, chat, that is the first time. First time. Oh dear lord. Oh, even my mouse disappeared. Chat, this is the first time I actually derailed because of my fault. I had one derailment in Train Driver 2, which was caused by missing sign. First for everything, yes, indeed. That's why we play simulators, although it's a bit embarrassing to derail. Oh, now the mouse is gone and I can't really do anything. Oh dear. I will probably have to restart the game. Is it? Wait, how do I... SimRail? No. Can I... Yeah, I lost control over the game. So when you derail, apparently the game just stops, which is probably a bug that I will need to report. You missed the right. You missed the wreck. Oh dear lord, what a shame. Right, chat. I will have to kill the process. There we go. Just give me a second. I will start the game again. Oh dear, 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 oh dear. An error occurred while updating SimRail. Oh, is there an update? Is there also an update? Nah, there shouldn't be. Oh, there we go. Now it works. Good for new players to see a veteran can derail too. Well, to be honest, it's totally my fault. I've been driving as far as Polish rulebook would consider that a high-speed train, and I wasn't paying attention, so it's obviously my fault. When you stream and when you are not really looking at what you are doing or not really paying attention, because I got carried away just talking, which is my fault. That's what you get when you distract a driver. You end up derailing. And obviously, when I hit like a, what was it, like 60 km per hour junction while doing 140, this just can't end well, is it? And yeah, that's how I ended up derailing. So totally my fault, and unfortunately it was. While embarrassing, it is something that actually happens every now and then. But hopefully it won't happen again. And that's a perfect chance for me to take a very short break, and then I will be back with you. And we might jump in on one of the dispatch boxes to have a look how Idzikowice or Sosnowiec Południe looks like, if I can catch one of those stations to be free. So chat, I'm gonna take a very, very short break, probably like 5 minutes, and then we will be back with some more SimRail. Alright, chat. I am back, and we are probably ready to hop in to one of the dispatch boxes. Yes, I will happily do some dispatching for a change. Let's see. EN9, one server, well, one station was taken. Definitely we won't find anything interesting on EN1. EN8, that might be nighttime dispatching, is it? The problem of EN9 is that it's empty for some reason. People don't really play there. Obviously, German server is absolutely packed. Polish servers will be packed. Oh dear lord, dear lord, dear lord. Right, let's jump in on EN9. Let's have a look which stations are available. Surprisingly, even Zawiercie is available. Right, so there is that new one, Idzikowice, but I don't think it's gonna be busy, honestly. There's usually not much traffic in there, and I wouldn't expect too many trains to show up. What else we can take? Or we can take Sosnowiec Południowy. Right, so chat, which one do you want me to take? Should we go to Sosnowiec or should we go to Idzikowice? Sosnowiec seems to have some difficulty level. Did they release the new state? Yes, well, they added Idzikowice like 3 days ago. So it's electrical interlocking devices. The problem is that it's in the middle of that high-speed route, so you don't really get too many trains there. You will get some traffic, obviously, but I don't predict much complications on this particular station. So it's gonna be kind of boring. I'm really leaning towards Sosnowiec Południowy though, because you got that single track routes on both ends, and you have to really put some efforts to dispatch in there. So I think, yeah, let's hop into the Sosnowiec. It won't be too busy anyway, because there are no players there. Well, there's not too many players on the server in general, so I don't expect too much of an issues, unless people are going to join the server, and then we will have some more exciting session. Right, unfortunately all these levers are not working, and this station is supposed to be mechanical. Also, let me just get to the full screen, shall we? There we go. Yes, so hopefully soon they will properly turn this station on, and we will be able to set the junctions using the levers, and that's how it's supposed to be operated. For now though, we have to live with that. Right, so I need to let the train in. What is waiting where? Signal T. Oh no, SGH4, 12 meters away. There is one train approaching signal T. What is approaching signal T? 42188. And 42188. 42188. Let's have a look. This one is stopping for 1 minute. apparently. But it doesn't really say. Okay. Okay, it doesn't really say on which platform, so I assume that this is just going through. Shame. Okay. Let me just clear it. So you are going to Sosnowiec Znajdówka. Let me just... how do I... Oh, there we go. Sosnowiec Znajdówka. Let me just ask them. Is the path for train 42188. I don't really need to select track, is it? Okay, and I can let him in on track. Oh, okay, the path is clear, so I might as well. Are you going to accept it or not? There we go. Oh, I see. So I can do train routes, and then I can do train routes. Perfect. So 42188 is now departing. So 42188. There we go. And that is the train. Unfortunately, developers decided that these trains won't be stopping at my station for some reason, so they are just going through. Unless the timetable is just wrong. Okay, this train arrived. Perfect. Uh, 42140. 42140. Yes, the path is now clear. Where are you going? 42140. Again, it has layover, but it's not actually stopping. So now we will have to wait for Sosnowiec Znajdówka to confirm that this train arrived before I can send another train out. And because this train left a bit later than it was supposed to, we might have to stop the next train. There we go. So we need to allow this. Okay, the next train already has signal. And since you are not really stopping at the platform, I might send you to the side track, because why not? Perfect. And when I can confirm that Sosnowiec Dańdówka received the previous train, which is 42188, we will then ask for permission to send another one, which will be 42140. And this one is slightly ahead of time. Yeah, it's like 5 minutes ahead of time. Oh, okay, he's now entering the station. So very soon we should see him here. I have to say that Sosnowiec Południowy must be really nice station to dispatch when it gets busier. And there are trains. Okay, there is a train from Sosnowiec Dańdówka. But surprisingly, there is no trains from track 2, is it? Is there anything from line 62? That is the question. Or is there anything going for line 62? Sosnowiec Dańdówka, that's going 660, 660. Okay, so there is no traffic in that direction, apparently. So basically AI will never request to send something in this direction or send something from that. Yeah. Kind of shame. Would be nice to see some traffic. Oh, okay. This route is now clear. So 42140, I need to ask them. Is the path 42140? Yeah, it would be nice to actually see some traffic in that direction. Perhaps they will add some new trains. Okay, the path is now clear, so we can execute that. Would you mind to accept? Oh dear Lord, AI is taking its time to accept this. There we go. Perfect. So 42140 has left 3 minutes ahead of time, which should give it enough time to actually reach its destination. Okay, and now we will have about 10 minutes of silence, is it? We can have a walk around. Ooh, that's a classy scooter. Looks like in the game I am driving some interesting stuff, although there's really no road access to this building. I'm not sure if a person who is a dispatcher on this post would use this moped. XYZ, yes, this is SimRail. There we go. This is a closed track, unfortunately. I'm glad that developers actually opened this track. So now we can hold the trains in case something goes wrong. Although, honestly, if people are dispatching correctly, nothing ever goes wrong in this game, which is a bit of a shame. But maybe at some point they will add malfunctions and stuff, which would make things interesting. Because honestly, if I would get a malfunctioning junction, for example, which I need to, let's say, fix or call engineer to fix and wait for like an hour or so to get it fixed, then obviously that would make things interesting, because then I need to arrange the traffic in a way that might be not usual for this station. Or perhaps send trains to different side of the platform temporarily. If they would also add ability to like trigger the announcements that the train will arrive on a different platform because there is some malfunction or because of something, that would be brilliant. If anyone ever played something called a game called Stelwerk Sim, it's basically that. If you had to receive a train on a wrong platform, you could make an announcement to the passengers that the train is going to arrive on a different platform, and then you could route that train on a wrong platform, or on a different platform than it's in the schedule. And that worked perfectly fine, and there was a procedure for that. You could do that, and like this was fun part of Stelwerk Sim, even though it's a web-based like a dispatching simulator. If someone wants to try it, you just have to go to, I can't remember the website, stelwerksim.de, I think. I can't remember. You can just Google it probably. And yeah, and it's like a dispatching simulator online. It has some routes in Czech Republic, in Germany, in Poland. It has a few stations, but everything is in German. So unfortunately, you have to learn a little bit of German to be able to use this this sim. But if you learn what's written on the screen, or if you use Google Translate, it's really fun game if you like dispatching. And it's fully online, so again, people are dispatching in multiplayer. You just send pretty much dots on the screen between each player. So it's fun. It can be fun. It can be really fun. Right, let me just jump here. There we go. 24935 for train 24935. The track is clear. And 24935 is actually stopping. And this is fun thing about this. So this train actually has a scheduled stop of 0 minutes and 0 seconds, but it has to stop at platform 1 track 2. So it has to stop in here. So I need to route him on that particular platform. Okay, still nothing. So AI asked me right now if I got clear route for another train, but that train is not supposed to arrive for another 10 minutes. So the question is now, when AI will request the line lock with me, am I gonna get a bell sound? There should be like a ringing bell when there is a request to lock a route. Still nothing. I'm quite sure I won't hear it if I'm outside of the of the signal box, so I have to be inside. Too bad we can't sit down or whatever, which would make things more realistic. And too bad that there is no player on Sosnowiec Główny right now. It would be nice to have a little bit more people. In fact, oh dear lord, there's almost no one playing the game. We got one Russian player and one English player. And that English player is on Psary, 71 kilometers away. Dear lord. Okay, we got trains arriving at Sosnowiec Główny. Still no request from Sosnowiec Dańdówka. It will probably take like 10 minutes before I get any requests. Okay, there's technically a storage room. You can't see through the window. I was hoping that they added some secrets. Can't even enter through the door. I wonder if you can... No, that they didn't add climbing. So probably the most I can do is to walk around and inspect if the junctions are set correctly. Yeah, it would be better for this station, with its size, to like design it on proper on those levers, but for some reason developers decided that they won't do it, and well, at least not for now. Later on it will definitely work like that, but basically you got different levers that you need to operate. So these will operate junctions. These will basically let you lock specific routes. So when you pull the right set of junctions, each of these will allow you to lock a specific route that is connected to that set of levers. And when you lock a correct route, then you will be able to draw one of the signals with these levers. And then again, you can't unlock the route until the signal is drawn, and you first need to release the signal, then you need to release the route, and then you need to change the switches. So that's pretty much how it works. Obviously, when the train goes through a specific sensor, the signal should automatically return to its normal position, because it's a because we got semi-automatic signals, and the route should release as soon as the next station confirms that the train arrived. So basically that's how this signal box works, but if I remember correctly, you can just hold the route lock button and it should release it after a few seconds, just in case you locked the wrong route, obviously. So yeah, basically that's how this type of interlocking works, and hopefully we will see that later on, because I would love to operate Sosnowiec Południe, but using a proper controls rather than this, because this makes it really boring, and we don't get any bell, which we should. My goodness me, confirmation takes ages. Okay, the train has been routed, so I need to route it on my end. There we go. Okay, so that's 24935. He will be followed with 24187, 24139, and then we're going back to number 40. So you get, again, chat, it's a very rhythmic timetable, which is a bit of a problem. And it's a bit of a problem on every single signal box, yeah? So as you can see, we are now routing, which one is this? 24935. So he's gonna perform that tiny stop that it has. Then 10 minutes later we get another train. Less than 10 minutes later we get another train. And then we get 3 trains from other side. And then get back to the same rhythm. So 3 from this, 3 from there, 3 from this, 3 from there. Like you can't really fail on that. It's absolutely impossible to fail on that. So now we need to ask for the route. 24935 is it? So you ask 24935. You don't even need to specify the track. And there we go. And now we could technically choose interlocking direction, just to make sure that interlocking is already engaged. And there we go, the train is currently driving into the station. At the same time, I'm waiting for interlocking to be solved. There we go. So the route is basically now locked. I need to wait for the train to drive into the platform and stop, which I can basically see from here. And then I can draw a signal to depart, because the train doesn't really have that long stop. The layover is literally less than a minute. So that's a funny thing. Every single train that doesn't have stop on this station has a layover time, and a train that has a stop has no layover time. definitely there is a lot of work to fix this timetable. There we go, and the train is now arriving. Okay, I can now confirm that the train arrived. Now I can close this one. Draw a signal, and I can also respond to Sosnowiec Znajdówka. 24187. There we go. The path is clear. And I can confirm that 24935 has left. There we go. And that's it. That's how easy it is to dispatch at Sosnowiec Południe. Look at that speed. Okay. I don't expect to have another train for a few minutes, so I might as well open the crossing. And it's now opened. Very easy, chat. Very easy. Now, apparently Sosnowiec Główny was letting in another train. So the train from us had to wait. But very soon this train should receive entry signal. There we go. The entry signal has been set, so we can actually see that. Okay, and now that's interlocking gone. Perfect. Ooh, we got someone at Zawiercie dispatching for AIs, because there are no players driving on this server for some reason. Come on, route that train. It would be really nice to have that bell that rings when they request route. I know you get that at Dąbrowa Górnicza Wschód, definitely. It used to work there, but I'm not sure if there are any other stations that have any signal that will just ring when there is like an interlocking request. And also, AI stopped to announce that the trains have departed, so that's interesting. Well, it wouldn't make sense for Sosnowiec Główny, because like there's literally maybe 150 meters of tracks between our posts. But Sosnowiec Dańdówka could actually make announcements. That would probably help. Okay, and there's like a I probably won't get a route request for another. Oh, there we go. And that should be ringing. There should be like a sound alert for this. Dear Lord. Okay, so I need to request a route. And which one is this? 24187. So let me just ask. 24187. Definitely takes a while. Now it responds. Okay, so since I don't have to stop this train, I might let him through. Although I have a feeling that I'm routing it a little bit too quick. Yeah, in fact, I might. For now, I can open this crossing, because the train is going to take a minute or two to get into this section. It has been routed. I can see that. The signal has been set. Oh no, that is my signal, but the arrow haven't fully changed into red, which means that the train have not entered this block. So when the train will basically engage the interlocking completely, I should get notification that it passed the exit signal on the previous station, which now means that the train should be en route. And that's what this arrow should indicate. That's why it's partially yellow and red. So red means that the station set the signal for the exit. but the train have not entered the block, and that's what's indicated by arrowhead, which is yellow instead of fully red. On my end, I just locked the interlocking, so the interlocking has the direction. That's why the arrow is fully yellow, because I haven't set the signal L, which would give permission to leave the station. So now that the train entered the block, I can expect him within next 2 to 3 minutes probably. I can wait for this block to become red, then I can close the crossing and send the train through. Yeah, I should have enough time for this. Or I can actually close it now. It's not that there's gonna be anyone complaining about railway crossing being closed for like 10 minutes. And I can route this train completely. There we go. That's pretty much right on time, isn't it? Perfect. So now that I set the signal for exit, again the arrow changed to yellow and red, because the signal is set, but the train have not passed the signal L. So when the train is going to pass signal L, the arrow will become fully red, and that's it. The train has been departed. Yeah. That's a very loud bell, isn't it? Okay, this train is still en route. Okay, we got some players, chat. We got some players. Now there is a player at Sosnowiec Główny. Okay, so 24187. We can actually let him know so that this guy can route the train. And we should now be able to confirm that the train arrived. And pretty much almost instantly, Dańdówka should ask us about the next train. There we go. 24139, yes. 24139, yes. And technically it should request the routes almost instantly as well. Okay, it doesn't look like Sosnowiec Główny is routing this train just yet. So that will be interesting to see if that's gonna be properly routed or not. Chat, now that there is a player, we might actually see some action. Well, at least as much action as you can get on Sosnowiec Południe. Okay, and this train has been sent. Oh, and it's already en route. Oh dear lord. Okay, so that's getting interesting. Guy is still not routing 24187. And there is already 24139 waiting. And 1 minute later, there's gonna be a train heading in opposite direction. So I wonder how the guy on Sosnowiec wants to handle this. Also, this crossing is now blocked. So there we go, chat. Already first delays generated between the stations. Is it? Ah, there we go. The train has been routed. Perfect, perfect. But it took a few seconds. Okay, looks like the train from this direction, the one from Sosnowiec do Lindówka, is slightly late. because yeah, I am currently waiting for that 24139, and it was supposed to drive through my station just now, but it's just getting on the route. And the guy on Sosnowiec Południe needs to release the route completely. And there is 24139, 249 on track 2, is it? Yeah, I think it's track 2. Yeah, that is a track 2. Yeah, the guy didn't even send a message. I know what train is about to arrive, so I might as well allow that. Oh, okay. Valiev, hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll have a great time today. I'm doing good, I'm doing good. Right, I can route this train. No way. Can you hear that, chat? Nice, that's another nice touch, chat. So there is a church nearby Sosnowiec Południe station, and obviously right now there is like a bell clock on top of that church, I believe, and because it's 9 o'clock it started to ring. But I think it rings a little bit. Oh, and I think it still goes like that because there's over 9 chimes already. Yes, I think it chimed 21 times. But it's still a nice touch that they actually tried to do that, you know? The attempt has been made, at least. Right, let's get back here. Right, so I need to wait to release this train. Okay, and there is, this train is already 42940. So 42940. Okay, so this one already got in, and this one has to wait. And there's no other way to solve it at the moment. Blah 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 blah. Perfect. Okay, so this one is driving in, this one is already waiting. Perfect. And this one also has to perform a passenger stop, so I don't need to rush. Okay, so let's immediately change the direction, because I already got the train. I don't even need to open the crossing. All I need to wait for is Sosnowiec to accept the line lock. And hopefully he will. There we go. And both trains are departing at the same time. 24139, okay. And 42940. There we go, chat. That went more or less smooth. Okay, now I can open the crossing, because train went past it. Still need to wait for Sosnowiec Główny to let the train in, but from what I've seen, when I looked outside of the window, you can basically sometimes see trains passing. There was a train passing right before 24139 went through this section. So he will probably have to wait for a minute or two before he gets the signal. Let's have a look. There's okay. There are 3 players, and all of us are dispatching. Well, there are 3 other players. Zawiercie is obviously a station that is pretty far away. So the guy is pretty far away from us, and he doesn't really get the traffic from us directly. Alex, hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll have a great time today. I am currently at EN9 server. Feel free to join. Although all the nearby signal boxes are already taken. But feel free to take some trains, and I will be on for probably another half an hour or so at least. There's plenty of spaces. There we go. Sosnowiec Znajdówka just released a line lock. I'm still waiting for that 24139 to be let in to Sosnowiec Główny, and he will have to do that because he needs that track for another train. So we just routed 42940 from him, and he's now trying to let in 24139. But very soon we will get 42190, which needs to go from Sosnowiec Główny to me. And obviously, in order to do that, he needs to let out 42. No, he needs to let out 24139. So very soon this train should start moving. At least I hope it will start moving. I wonder if that box is actually working. So technically it should indicate oh, okay, it doesn't seem to work. Oh, there we go, this train is now gone. And soon I should get requests from Sosnowiec Główny. Would be nice to see that he actually asks about specific train, but in 5 minutes I should definitely get a request from him. Unless the other train is derailed, well, delayed and not derailed. Oh, there we go. Just as expected. Yes, it's EN9. Okay. Oh, okay, at least he mentioned that's 42190, so here's the path for 42190. Perfect. Nice. Okay, Dańdówka, confirm it, confirm it. Let's close this one. Okay, the train just got in. And let me just route you. There we go. That went smooth. If you will select a correct service, then you will be passing my station. Although it depends at what time you will be passing it, because I'm not gonna be streaming forever. I'm hoping to finish in next maybe 30 minutes. Okay, and now I can 42190. Just got in. Nice, nice, nice. And 42190 is just on time, is it? Yeah, quarter past. So the next one is 25, which is in 10 minutes. So very soon I should get another request from Sosnowiec Główny. Okay, it doesn't look like there's much happening on Sosnowiec Południa. Honestly, chat, if you dispatch trains as they are on your timetable, there's absolutely no way something will go wrong. Probably the only thing that may go wrong is a player doing something silly, like when I did something silly driving EP08 today and I derailed. I basically thrown entire train off the schedule. It didn't really matter at this point because there were no player operated stations after the place where I derailed, but nevertheless there was one less train in a timetable and a lot of cleaning for for some services. My dear lord, the light effect is so brutal. So it's 9:20 in the afternoon. It's still rather bright, which isn't too bad, but that shine effect on these rocks, oh dear lord, this is absolutely awful. Definitely developers needs to work on lights, because it shouldn't be that bright. Right, let me get in here, because apparently I'm getting request for another train. Next train is waiting outside of on your station. Not yet, not yet. Anyway, that next train is routed now. Let's have a look. 42142. You are soon in Zawiercie. You won't be going through my station then. Because I am dispatching on a different line. And trains from my station never go to Zawiercie. Right. And this is 42142. Okay, and let me ask. 42142. There we go. I should easily have enough time to do that. Come on, Dańdówka, just answer the question. Perfect. So now I have to wait for Sosnowiec Dańdówka to accept the line lock, and then I can route that train. There we go, and I can set that signal. There we go. Takes a while, isn't it? Okay, and that's 42142. 42142. I can now confirm that it departed, even though the train is just passing through my station. Perfect. Okay, so I can confirm that the train arrived, and I can open the crossing. Nice and easy, chat. Nice and easy. If someone thought that Sosnowiec Południe is gonna be difficult, well, there are no difficult stations in this game, honestly. Even Zawiercie is not that difficult, especially when most of the trains are bots. We got literally one player who is driving a train. So not much of a challenge to dispatch trains in SimRail, chat. It's really not that much of a challenge. Right, let's have a look what is going on at Sosnowiec. Should be much more traffic in there. No trespassing. Look, I'm breaking the rules. I think you wanted to pass my station, so you need to pick a service that goes through my station. Definitely a train that goes between Katowice and Warsaw is not passing through my station because I'm operating Sosnowiec Południe, which is on a different route. Yeah, unfortunately the tracks are pretty empty here. But I like that they removed that ridiculous limitation for Sosnowiec Południe, and you can now actually walk a little bit further away. Uh, 24937. Yeah, I believe 24937 is going to be passing my station. Oh, there we go. There is another train. Let's see. The next train. Yes, that is 24937. And it's gonna be at my station in 10 minutes. Can I see train numbers in the menu? Alex, when you are picking your train that you want to drive, that is the train number. So if it says whatever name it is, and then the number represents exactly the train number that's that I am routing. So right now I'm getting a question from Daindówka about 24937, which I am going to respond right now. 24937. So the train 24937 now received a permission to pass my station. Well, yeah, technically, this server is not really the busiest one lately. To be honest, chat, I am very surprised that EN9, which used to have some traffic and some players, is now so quiet. But on the other hand, like I really enjoyed like complaints on the forums from some players. Oh yeah, like some signal boxes are always taken. There's never time for me to jump in. And right now, not a problem. I just hopped in on one of the servers which has pretty much perfect settings, and it was empty. EN9 was the second choice when EN1 was full, but now it's always dead. Yes, it's always dead because there's only as many players as there is that would like to play this game like all the time. Since they renamed EN1. Like, I don't know, I'm not fan of the rule of not closing tracks. There's nothing wrong with track closures if it's done by reasonable players. They removed beginner from the EN1 name. Because it was never actually used by beginners. People were constantly playing on EN1 over and over and over again. So like it wasn't ready for beginners, and obviously people were experimenting with track closures, which isn't bad, but it was done really badly by people who are experimenting, and obviously most of them couldn't really handle track closures that they were trying to create, which made no sense. I've been doing that a few times myself with people on some servers, and it was fun when you do it, especially when you are playing on some of those tiny stations where track closures would actually make a difference. So yeah, that would make sense every now and then. But if it's overused, for example, if a player on Sosnowiec Główny will decide to close one of the tracks, which is pretty much the worst idea you can get, then this leads to a lot of problems, because Sosnowiec Główny tends to be one of the busiest stations in the game. So stations like Zawiercie, Sosnowiec Główny, and pretty much that's it at the moment, and probably Sosnowiec Południowy should never experiment with track closures. Like, you don't really want that. There's literally no track that I can close. I can close track 4 on my station, but so I just stop using it. I get that much traffic every hour that using track 4 is not even justified. I get literally 6 trains an hour. Chat, there's absolutely no traffic here. $24,937. Okay. There we go. I can turn on screen backlight. That looks really nice. Event lost. Okay, very soon Sosnowiec Dańdówka should send requests to get this train. And the train is scheduled in 5 minutes, so it shouldn't take long. Ah, there we go. Now I can route the train. Perfect. Getting darker and darker. That's really nice. Although the sun is still pretty high. And it's way too bright. That's one of the problems with lighting in SimRail. At this time of day, the sun is way too bright. Alex, you are on way to my station. You are about to arrive here very, very soon. 24937. Okay. 24937. Track 2. I wish they add seasons. They are planning to. Although it might take a while. Obviously the game began, or yeah, when they launched the game, it was set in June, so obviously we are yet to see how the game will change over the seasons, because it's still June. So when we will reach, let's say, July and other months, I hope that it's not only one rolling month, because it's like in the game it's 29th of June. So I hope they will, let's say, switch the month so the days will get shorter. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, they reset. They reset the time. Oh, shame. Oh yeah, that would make sense. That's why it's only June. But I think at some point I've seen that there was like July or something like that. So it would be nice if they would allow the game to go until like September or something like that, so we can see like shorter days, because it's September, October where the days are getting shorter, but it's not winter yet, because winter usually starts the proper winter will start between like late October, early November, where you can basically see first snow every now and then. Although in region of Katowice you usually don't see snow until mid-December. And if you see it's quickly turning black. so you don't really want to see the black snow. I think we got to August. Well, that's a progress. Although, yeah, it's still very long days, short nights, and it's like a bit of a shame. Right, I'm still waiting for a response from Sosnowiec. Two 4189. There we go. Michał Wiśniewski, hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you'll have a great time today. How are you doing? Okay, so Sosnowiec Dańdówka. A long time no see on your stream. Yes, it's been a while since you visited me, you know, and you could try and visit me more often. I wouldn't mind. Had a crazy few months. Hey, but you've started to post your amazing pictures on the Discord, so that's nice. When will you start doing something from SimRail? Like, some of the photos would work really well, I think. Especially that SimRail uses pretty much the same graphics engine, isn't it? Right, I'm not sure if this guy is going to accept line lock or not. Because it's time, chat, it's time for me to send 24937. Ah, you don't have a SimRail. I might send you some of my pictures, although they might not be taken with the correct lighting and stuff, and that might be a problem. Maybe they will set the right date when the summer comes. I mean, that's an option. That is an option. Okay, I got the signal for 24937. And now... Oh, okay, so Sosnowiec Główny is now AI. So 24937. I can see what I can do. Okay, yeah, I'll send you some of my screenshots at one point, and we'll see what you can do with them. Obviously, SimRail has a huge problem with like too bright lights, so not every picture might be good for editing in your style. There we go. So that's Alex passing through. I'm kind of surprised that developers still haven't fixed the mirrors in EN96 or EN76 or whatever. No, it's EN96, yeah. So basically, because I got mirrors turned on, so they should actually work in the game. Every time one of these units passes next to my signal box, or if I'm driving another train, if I'm passing next to one of those, you get those that flashing screen. It's because of the mirrors, because normally they are just folded in that unit, and obviously the game is trying to simulate that they reflect light, and it reflects light to other players, even if it shouldn't, because obviously in that case mirror, if it's folded, it shouldn't work. but the game doesn't really do that properly. Okay, so we can now open this crossing. Right, chat. I think it is the right time to call it a day. Yeah, I think it will be good time to call it a day. Not much is happening. There is really no trains that are going to be passing through my station anytime soon. So we will call it a day. I see this control tower has a lot of ferns. Well, it has all these, but they don't work. And we have a lot of flowers inside. It's probably one of the busiest signal box when it comes to like decorations, or yeah, one of the most decorated signal boxes that you can find in the game. Like on a very confined space, you got so much stuff that it feels like it's decorated. Get into Benjamin and you will find only a table with like with that electric circuit table, and that's it, and it's empty except that. Right, anyway. Michał Wisniewski, yeah. Well, the stream was going on for 3.5 hours and I still need to go shopping, which I don't have much time because the shops close at 10, so I literally got an hour and 40 minutes. Well, an hour and 15 minutes to get to the shop, and it's not close from my house, unfortunately. So I need to finish that stream to do the shopping, otherwise I will have to wait until tomorrow. Right, anyway, chat, it was an absolute blast to have you here today. I'm really glad that so many people showed up, and it's nice to see that that more of you are interested in my streams, and you are watching that. This is fantastic to see the numbers. Like there's currently 14 people watching on YouTube, 4 people on Twitch, so that's really good numbers. So thank you very much for joining me today. As you could see, well, we had first derailment from me, which was my fault. So chat, the more we chat with each other, yes, the more we talk with each other, the more chances that something is going to happen, because I get distracted. I'm not really focused and silent. I have a chance to discuss things with you. I'm really glad to hear all those questions. Glad you introduced us to derailments. Well, more of that coming. The more you decide to chat with me and distract me with different conversations, the more you will be able to see some crazy stuff happening on the screen, because I can't really divide my attention indefinitely, and there is a limit. And I guess today I have reached my limit, so no more chatting when I drive EP08. At least not unless it has ETCS installed. I definitely need to get ETCS working. Or developers needs to get ETCS working in the game, and then I will be fine. Because there will be that system that tells me, hey, you can't go that fast. It did show derailment is a real thing in this simulator. Yes, but it's not easy to derail. Like, I literally had to smash my train doing 140 into a junction that was limited to like 60 or 80, I think, in order to derail a train. Other than that, like, you don't really derail that much. But yes, I managed to do that. It's as much embarrassing as it is. It happens. Streamer fail. I hope someone clipped it. and we can add it to my fail collection, which isn't a long list yet. But more of that coming. More of that is coming. I will probably try. Well, next week the stream might happen on Saturday because I will be busy on Thursday and Friday. However, nothing is set in stone. I might eventually try and make it for Friday, and if I will make it on Friday, it will be I won't be playing SimRail. I will definitely try and do some Railroads Online probably. So if you got this game, brace yourself. There might be some Railroads Online, and I'm slowly developing my layout there. So there should be a little bit more to do. I feel in TSW you would be still on the rails though. I don't know, to be honest. Like I think the speed difference was way too great even for Train Sim Worlds. Although yes, Train Sim Worlds is much more lenient when it comes to speeding over the junctions. Even though I turned on junction derails, like it was extremely hard to derail on a junction when you were speeding. But it's still possible. It's still possible. I've seen people making videos when they were testing like how fast they can go, and like when you get, well, when you take, let's say, IC on one of the American routes and you just try to slam the best speed ever that you can get, eventually you will derail at some point, and you can still throw the train off the tracks. But yes, I managed to do that in SimRail, which is well, to my surprise, it wasn't that hard, although it was much less spectacular than I expected. Like literally, my train decided to like, well, dislodge the wheels and like get stuck. It really looked weird, but hey, it was a first derailment. Woo! Anyway, chat, enough of me talking. I was supposed to finish, and I'm again talking for another 6 minutes. So thank you very much. I hope you liked it. If you did, press that like, subscribe button, follow me on Twitch if you are watching me there, and obviously don't forget to join my Discord. Everything or all the links are in descriptions under the player, and you can find them. I'm sure you can find them. So hop in and have a chat on my Discord. Until then, bye bye.